little bit. We're never perfect, we're imperfect, everyone. But I think, thank you so much, MJ, for those readings, for reading that so well. Because this is a really special passage. It's the calling of Peter, San Pedro, and it's really powerful because it reveals something about who Jesus is and what he wants to do with our life. Because Jesus is real. He is a real person. He is alive. And from the reading today, we get a little glimpse into what Jesus does with his life. I mean, Jesus doesn't just sit on his sofa all day, but he does something. And this gospel reading tells us that he calls us. He wants us to fall in love, to really fall in love with him, because gusto ni Lord ang Messiah natin tayo. He wants all of us to be happy, to fall in love, like totally, completely. And the thing about Jesus that we read is that he has fallen in love with us first. Do you know the reading? It says that Jesus, while the crowd was pressing in on Jesus and listening to the word of God, he was standing by the lake and he saw two boats. I have a question. Anong oras ito? What time is this in the gospel? What part of the day? The night? Anyone? Afternoon? Morning? So this is really early in the morning, because we hear later, Simon says, Master, we have worked hard all night. And then he's washing his nets. So that's what fishermen do. They go out during the night to catch fish, because the fish come to the surface, right? During the night, say walang light, there's no light. So they go out during the night, and then early in the morning, maybe 3 a.m., they get out of the boat and they start washing their nets. So we're talking 4 a.m., simbang, Misa de Gallo time, very early. And Jesus is already waiting. He's standing by the lake, and he sees two boats. So you could imagine Jesus, he didn't just accidentally wake up early one morning and kind of go to the beach. Jesus knew Simon Peter. He knew how he was out all night. Jesus knew that Peter would be there. And so he goes out onto the beach and sees him first. Jesus has seen you. Sometimes we feel like we work hard all night. Have you ever felt like that? Whether at school or at work, we work all night and no one sees us. Sometimes, paminsan-minsan we feel like that. We feel like no one's looking at us, no one understands us. But in the reading, Jesus, he wakes up early, goes out to the beach, and sees Simon. Sees Simon before anything happens. He's looking at Simon. And that's what Jesus is doing with your life right now. He has seen you working hard in your life. He has seen you searching for love. because we're all looking for love, to fall in love. He's seen you working to be fulfilled, to be happy. He knows. Alam niya. And how amazing is it to read that Jesus wakes up early just to see us and to meet us. Honestly, in my life right now, I think I can say I've found the love of my life. I've found the love of my life. I've found Jesus. I mean, I looked everywhere for Jesus. Like Peter, I worked all night trying to catch fish, trying to fulfill my heart. I've worked all night trying to go well in school, to get in the best sports teams, all that stuff. And now, after my experience, I can say I found what I was looking for. However, if we were to be honest, I think we're all looking for love. Not just me. I mean, there's a statistic of how much time people spend on dating apps in 2024. And it's like many, many years of people spending on dating apps. And when I saw that statistic, I was like, what? Our hearts are really looking and created for love. God made us like that. God made our hearts with a hole in them to look for, to be fulfilled. We're all searching for love. This is true. I remember when I was a baby, my mum tells me that I would always cry really loud looking for her attention. But then, tapos when I was in my mum's arms, stopped crying. And then when I got a bit older, I remember in like my elementary school, sometimes to get into the cool groups, I would tell my friends lies. Like, my dad is like an astronaut, like my brother is the president, just because I wanted to, I was looking for love. That's my heart. And then when I was a teenager, I remember this one time, my friend hurt his foot, and I was supposed to be staying with him. But then, when I saw my friends and these, with the boys and the girls all hanging out, I left my friend all alone, who was injured, just to be with the cool guys, the pretty girls. Our hearts are made for love. My life is for love. Your life is for love. In the gospel, Peter worked all night long looking to catch fish, because he was made for love too. Peter was made for love. But the thing is, sometimes we stop believing that true love is real. Sometimes we content ourselves with just what we have. But Jesus wants us to go deeper. To go deeper into what our hearts are looking for. To what our heart is really looking for. Because He has the answer. Jesus said, "Put out into deep water and lower your nets for a catch." Lower your nets for a catch. Because true love is real, because there are fish out there, even though you can't see them, Peter. This is what Jesus was saying to Peter. Peter, you can't see the fish, but they're out there. You just have to go deeper. I know your heart is restless. I know you're looking to be happy and to be full and to really live, to be fully alive. I want to give you that, Peter. But all you have to do is lower your net. Lower your net for a catch. Because the truth is, the happiness and love that we are searching for can only be found in Jesus. The happiness and the love that we are created for can only be found in God. No matter how many crushes we have, no matter how many friends we have on social media, no matter how big our maybe Barcada is, maybe, even that, the only happiness, the happiness and joy, the catch of fish that we're looking for can only be found in Jesus. I remember I was beginning senior high school. So I was 16, almost 17, and summer had just finished. So South Australia, our school begins in February and finishes tapos na yan December, and then summer, and then restart. So summer had finished, and I thought I was in a moment of my life that I thought I had everything, because all summer I had worked really hard to get into the best sports teams. I had trained really hard. I had done lots of study to get into the best academic classes like mathematics stuff. And I had found a nice girl who I thought she was really nice. And I had no problems in my family. Walang problema sa pamilya ko. And I thought I was really at the top. I thought that. But when I went back to school, I don't know, I had lots of experiences that shook me and confused me, because I saw my classmates in lower grades than me really happy. I saw my classmates in worse or lower sports teams really enjoying life. I saw people without a girlfriend really happy. And then I remember one time I went to a homeless shelter, because we have to for school, and I saw the homeless people really happy, even though they didn't have what I had. They were really poor and in really poor clothes, and they slept on the street, but they had huge smiles on their faces. Tapos, when I went back to school, I was really confused, because I felt an emptiness in my heart that no matter how hard I tried to feel, it just got bigger and bigger. Just got bigger and bigger. And then one night, I finally found what I was looking for. One night, I finally found what I was looking for. It's like that song. I finally found what I'm looking for. I felt really that song relatable to me that one night. Because I remember I was trying to get to sleep, but I couldn't. And I had lots of thoughts and feelings racing through me. And I was asking lots of questions to myself, like, why do I still feel like this? Why do I still feel empty, even though I have everything? I felt like Peter in the gospel, like, Lord, I've worked hard all night. Give me a break. I've worked all night, Lord. Make me happy. Make me happy. Because I felt really alone and confused and sad, and I just couldn't take it any longer. Now, when I was 16, I didn't really know Jesus that much. Like, I knew about Jesus, but I didn't know Jesus. Do you know what I mean? Like, I knew about Jesus, but I didn't know Jesus. But that night, I did something crazy. And I asked Jesus for help. I remember in my heart, I said, Jesus, if you're real, please help me right now. Please help me. If you exist, if you really exist, please help me. And yeah, in that moment, I really experienced Jesus wanting to help me. I experienced like Jesus actually alive and wanting to forgive me and love me and be with me. I felt like Jesus had woken up early, gone to the beach, and saw my boat empty. But he knew he could feel it. He knew he could feel it. And that night, in that moment, I've never experienced so much joy and peace ever before. I remember waking up for school the next morning, everything around me was the same. My mum was telling me to get ready for school, to not forget my sport things and stuff. But within me, inside of me, everything had changed. Everything had changed. Because that night, I knew I had found the one I was looking for. I knew that I'd caught the great catch. I caught the millions of fish that were overflowing in my boat and in my heart. And I knew I had found the love of my life that I spent 16 years to find. Maybe you guys are searching too, like me. Maybe you guys kind of feel like Peter, like you've worked hard all night. Because the truth is, our hearts are all the same. Our hearts are all looking for Jesus, for the one who can fill us. And the truth is, Jesus can do it. Only Jesus can make you as happy as possible. He is the one true love that we're looking for. Because Jesus' love hits different. Jesus' love hits different. It's like A love that goes deeper. That goes deeper into the water. It's a love that hits different. Simon Peter, when they had done this, when Simon Peter had cast out his nets for a catch, they caught a great number of fish, and their nets were tearing. They signaled to their partners in the other boat to come to help them. They came and filled both boats. They came and filled both boats. When Jesus steps into our life and into our heart, His love is so great that it doesn't just fill our hearts, but it fills others too. It fills both boats, it says. So this is like when we meet Jesus, all of our relationships get better. I think that's so true. When we meet Jesus, we make other people's lives happy. Like, I remember after I met Jesus, I felt a call to love more. Like, I felt like I had to love more. Like my friends at school, I wanted to care for them better. My parents and my family, I wanted to help them more. The girl that I liked, I wanted to treat her better, to buy her flowers more often, something like that. This is what happens when we meet Jesus. It's like we fill both boats. It's like the fish that we catch in our heart, it's like the fish swim out of our heart and into other people's boats. I think this is your experience. Like when we experience a love that sets us free, we feel free to love other people. But until we've found that love, until we've experienced that for ourselves, then we struggle to love others, I think. But Jesus' love fills both boats. Then it says, when Simon Peter saw this, he fell at the knees of Jesus and said, "Depart from me, Lord, for I am a sinful man." Depart from me, Lord, for I am a sinful man. It's like, Lord, stop looking at me like that with so much love. It's like, Lord, I'm not worthy to be loved by you. Why are you looking at me like that, Lord? Stop. That's how Simon Peter felt. So he says, "Depart from me." But Jesus says, no. No. I want to stay with you. I want to remain with you. To live my life with you. Sure, maybe you've had one experience of Jesus. Maybe you've experienced Jesus' love once. Maybe He's filled your boat. You've had an experience of that, maybe. But Jesus is saying, I want more. Now I want to stay with you and to be your best friend forever. To be your best friend forever. Jesus said to Simon, "Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. From now on, you will be catching men." From now on, you will be with me. never let you go. From now on, you've got a mission to fill other people's boats, to make other people experience the love that you've experienced. As we enter into today's prayer, let's go into the words or the part of the guidelines that struck us the most. And just stay there. Because Jesus has something really, really important to tell you through that. A guiding question for our prayer. One guiding question. How is Jesus inviting you to lower your nets for a catch? To experience and share his love? How is Jesus, what is the sea that Jesus is asking you to lower your nets down into?